This is the US. The US, believe it or not, is quite insular. And this insularity makes sure that when you talk about education, in a school of education, the concern is the local culture,
Right.
the local dynamics. The situation of the US is about race and this conflation between race and class, and of course spilling over with other quote-unquote variables like gender, like disability, like sexual preference or sexual choice. All these elements account for the dynamics of teaching and learning at the local level, and they are very fundamental. The schools of education like this one, which itself defines as a social justice education, department of education,
Right.
at least the School of Education has 2 departments, I will argue that first and foremost the focus is on minority populations, on people of color, what people will call the oppressed, and the situation now in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles communities. Moving into policy is the question of the state of California, which is a very progressive state, and what happened in Sacramento. Moving into the same spirit, some, not all of my colleagues are concerned about the question of the federal state and the implication for education.
Right.
All together account for a very US-based model. People who teach outside this paradigm are respected and appreciated, but they are not the dominant voice, and I'm one of them.
Right.
So in this school, I will consider 3 or 4 of us teaching outside this local paradigm into the dialectics of the global and the local. So that is another challenge. A third challenge, in addition to the hidden curriculum of American universities, which keeps changing with the historicity of thought and the actual conflicts of the society, is the fact that schooling is becoming less and less useful for the students.
Right, right.
Because we know that we are educating a number of people that over time they may become unemployed despite of their qualifications.
Right,
We are
right.
moving towards a jobless society. Robotics and artificial intelligence is going to replace a lot of the work that humans do.
Right.
So facing with that challenge, my sense is that the schools of education, high schools, are completely ignoring that challenge.
Right.
And somebody like me is preaching in the desert.
Right, right. Very challenging. All right, very interesting. Well, I'll ask you a last question that is quite broad, and the question is why and in what ways, in your opinion, education will be key in society, and what pathways do you foresee for education in a society that apparently is increasingly dominated by neoliberalism and growing nationalism?
The presence of education enhances the quality of life.
Right.
And opens up the minds, and if I go with Teilhard de Chardin, it creates a global consciousness, and that link all of us in the new Anthropocene, and in which we have the connection between humans, non-humans, etc.
Right.